Hey guys, welcome back to GloryHunter. It's Juventus versus Lecce to start, but we're going to be simming that because we have some incredible games to play today. Our first, well, I hesitate to say our first real test because Roma are obviously a strong side, but Paris Saint-Germain and AC Milan are definitely a step up from Roma. So Paris Saint-Germain away from home in the Champions League today as we start our group stage attempts. We've got Napoli at home as well, and then AC Milan away at San Siro later in the day, meaning we will sim Lecce, Sassuolo and Benfica today. We've got a number of games. We don't have a massively deep squad, so certainly squad rotation is going to be important, and managing the team as best possible throughout the course of these fixtures is going to be important. So I am going to look to do that. But as you might well be aware, the Champions League is important, but not as massively important as ensuring that we dominate domestically. I will have, throughout the course of this GloryHunter, the opportunity to win the Champions League elsewhere. However, I may well have minimal opportunity to win the Coppa Italia and Serie A in any other job other than this one, with the amount of trophies and clubs we're looking to manage throughout the course of this save. With that said, we're going to concentrate domestically. And if we look good through the group stage, then we look good through the group stage. But I'm not going to prioritise the Champions League massively at this early stage of the save. However, of course, we're not going to completely disregard it, because if you get the Champions League done and dusted out the way early doors, then that is a huge weight off the mind for the latter stages in a GloryHunter save. We've 15 seasons to do it, and if you can get it done within the first 3 or 4, then you're in a great position moving forward. Now, Adrien Rabiot has grown a little bit, which is good, but he's now peaked. I've added I've added development plans to a number of other players. Philip Kostic's complaining that he's not getting first team football there, but that's not a problem. Now then, we have a couple of other youngsters that are now with us that you haven't seen yet. I've called up our scout future star. Bellini is now part of the first team fray, although obviously isn't playing at present. And we've a couple of other youngsters that came through from Spain that look particularly decent. Otero is someone that was already here, Cristobal Otero. Then there's Cesar Acuna, who looks particularly good. Actually, no, I think Otero and Acuna, the two that I called up, and Santiago Perez might be the one that was already here. We're training him at Cam. Doesn't look spectacular at the moment, but certainly could be okay. Cristobal Otero, however, 81 to 94 potential. Whether I sign him or bring him up to the first team here at Juventus is unclear. But when I leave a club to move elsewhere, youngsters that have this sort of potential, I'm going to call up to the first team squad for Juve so that they can continue to get that to that potential without me at the club. So Cristobal Otero may well be a player that we come back to in 6 years' time when he's 22 and sign, because he's a worldy centre mid. At the moment he's not, but he absolutely could be. We're training Cesar Acuna as a winger as well, and he too could grow particularly impressively throughout the course of the next 5 or 6 years in a save, which isn't normally the sort of time frame that we work to, is it? But, unless outside of like a proper long-term RTG, and whilst this isn't an RTG of sorts, it's not a road to glory for a club, it's more of a road to glory for a manager. Certainly, glory, because it's GloryHunter. So we shall see how we get on here against Paris Saint-Germain. Fitness-wise, everybody should be okay with what we did in the rotation. A couple of players certainly will perhaps need to take a back seat or only play the first half or so. Bonucci, Pogba and Bremer perhaps. But we're certainly going to be strong enough here. You'll notice that Vlahovic is now up to 85 rated, expecting good growth from him and Chiesa this season. Now then, PSG are going to be arguably the most difficult side we will play all season. This could be a marker for what we potentially might achieve this year at Juve. Please drop the video a like if you're enjoying this content. It really does help push the channel to new people, and it just in general really helps me as a content creator, so I very much appreciate it. Any feedback you have, do feel free to leave it in the comment section and it will be taken on board, of course. But for now, we're going to dive in away from home at the Parc des Princes and hopefully avoid defeat at the very least. Oh, hello. This was fancy at the Parc des Princes, obviously with the Italian commentators. PSG, one of the best teams in Europe, regardless of the fact they haven't actually won the Champions League so far. It's obviously still one of the best teams in European competition and will be there or thereabouts come the end of this season, and arguably every season with the knockout stages of the Champions League. Juventus in real life had this group: PSG, Benfica, and Maccabi Haifa in real life. In FIFA, it's Antwerp, because Maccabi Haifa aren't on the game. But you can see PSG's starting lineup here. They're actually playing a 5-back. Donnarumma, Hakimi, Ramos, Skriniar, Marquinhos, and Nuno Mendes. Skriniar, a new signing this season in this save. Then Verratti and Fabian in the midfield. And I think the front three speaks for itself, really, doesn't it? Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar. I am at full strength with regards playing staff, but not necessarily at full fitness across the board. But fingers crossed that won't matter. We can still put in a decent performance. I'd like to draw my away games against PSG and Benfica and win the home games. And then we stand a great chance of getting through this group stage. But it's not going to be easy, as Juventus found out in real life. Very much not easy at all. Verratti. Oh, it's loose. Neymar just letting the ball run over his feet. And Mbappe working hard to win it back for his team. Here's Fabian. And we might be in a bit of trouble now. We're outnumbered a little bit. Fabian finds the ball through. And Leo Messi doesn't miss those. PSG 1. Juve 0. Backline was all over the place there. I was left with just my two centre-backs trying to deal with all of the forward runners, and Messi's just gone shot power. From there, I couldn't get close to him. PSG lead by a goal to 0 in the 12th minute. Not necessarily the start to the Champions League campaign that we were after. Spinazzola and Kostic. Pogba. Vlahovic. Pogba again. Out wide to Kostic. Now, if Vlahovic can get in the middle, I could try and find him, but I've not got the space up against Hakimi to do that. Spinazzola could cross it. I'll try and get it back on his right to do so. And he's delivered it really well. Vlahovic is up. It's a good chance. It's certainly a notable chance. Vlahovic has had two now, but hasn't found the target, let alone the back of the net. Mbappe to Messi. Messi kicks it against Bremer, I think it was, but still they work the chance. Neymar drawing what was in the end a comfortable enough save from the goalkeeper. Spinazzola will come across to deal with this short corner. Messi has the option on the edge of the box, but Spinazzola's done really well there. Just one goal is absolutely recoverable. If PSG get a 2-goal advantage, then maybe we'll consider it a bit more difficult to try and take anything from it. But at the minute, if either side looks like they're going to be scoring the next goal in this game, might well be the hosts, mightn't it? Messi does find Verratti on the edge of the box this time. Mbappe to Skriniar. Oh, it's just gone underneath the goalkeeper, and it is now 2-0 to the Parisians. Kylian Mbappe, the man to get the goal. Fortuitous the way it fell to him, but took it very well indeed. Got out here and got the block on Skriniar, and it's keeper's kind of moving to his left. It's a very realistic goal, actually. And he's moving to his left, and it's hit down low, and he just can't drop his body as he's moving sideways. Can't lower that centre of gravity quick enough to get down to the ball. It's PSG 2, Juventus 0. And for Juve fans in real life, this probably feels all too familiar. Rabiot gets away from Neymar. And Cuadrado, his touch is super heavy. Juan Cuadrado there. And here's Kylian Mbappe. And, they get lucky again. And it's going to cost me a third goal. I feel hard done by there. With their second and their third. Getting lucky with the rebounds. We're getting in the way of this one nicely. It cannons off both of Bremer's feet. Straight back to Mbappe. Then forward into Neymar. Into Messi. And it's a foregone conclusion when Leo Messi is one-on-one. 12 yards out. One back before half-time would put us in, well, a significantly better position than we find ourselves in at the minute. Bremer's up for this. It's on target. Just trying to nod that to a teammate there. And Rabiot, the Frenchman, back in his homeland, but not able to find the back of the net. In fact, Rabiot used to play for PSG as well, I think, didn't he? He was from PSG that he came to Juventus. Bremer was up for that as well. Pogba knocked that down. And Chiesa and Vlahovic. Well, when they get a lucky rebound, it goes in. When I get a lucky rebound, they've got an 89 rated Gianluigi Donnarumma in the way. 3-0 at half-time, although certainly we could have had one back there at the very least. The other game in the group is actually Antwerp leading in Portugal, which is a real shock. The stats at half-time actually read favourably in our favour. 53% possession, 7 shots to their 6. Their XG is significantly higher. We've had almost twice as many passes as them, certainly significantly more. More tackles won. Admittedly more saves, but the chances have been there. There is the opportunity here to still get something from this if we can replicate our creativity from the first half and be more clinical. I'm looking at you, Dusan Vlahovic. Then maybe it's not all done and dusted. But obviously if PSG can score 3.5, so can we. But if PSG can score 3.5, then they could just do that again and win 6-0 instead. It's not looking great for us at half-time, but we will keep our positivity for the time being. And that positivity has been rewarded. Another lucky rebound that falls for a team that ends up scoring. Finally, it goes our way. Filip Kostic burying it. Vlahovic into Kostic. And to be fair, it's an excellent finish. And Donnarumma nearly got there as well. It's 3-1. If only Vlahovic had tucked one of his chances away in the first half, we'd be right in this with practically a whole half to play. But we still need 2 at least. Pogba. Spinazzola. Oh, Verratti. It's a brilliant interception. If we do need a midfielder, I feel like we need a midfielder at some point later. Oh, Mbappe's deadly, isn't he? If we feel like we need a midfielder later in our time in Italy, then Verratti certainly could potentially be one that we look to. But there aren't many strikers around that are better than Kylian Mbappe. He's done me there. Even under pressure from Bremer, has still picked out the back of the net. It's 4-1 to Paris Saint-Germain, and we have been humbled here away from home. We had a great start to the domestic season, but continentally, rough. To Mbappe. Mbappe to Neymar. Neymar off the bloody post. Quadrado trying to deal with it. Neymar, Mbappe, Fabian Ruiz, former Napoli man, of course. So Juventus players should be relatively familiar with him from his time in Serie A. Chiesa get that in there to Vlahovic and could go again here, Chiesa. Marquinhos is with me, but with Nuno Mendes out of position. Oh, Weston McKennie was there, and that's who I looked for. We could see him free, arriving later in the box. Has he lost that there? He has. Chiesa tucks it back, and Vlahovic, given the chance. Clear cut like that. Okay, just kick it then, pal. We will tuck it away with Dusan, but he certainly could have had a hat-trick himself today. It's poor from Nuno Mendes, to be fair. But it's 4-2, and it could be 4-4. There's still 17 minutes to go. And I got unlucky with the pass. Quadrado, Locatelli, Vlahovic through. You're onside here, Philip. Post. Will I get a free kick, or was he just offside? So close, but I think he was offside. And so far, unfortunately, we've been close to good enough here against PSG, but ultimately we haven't been, and we are going to feel the effects of that, the ramifications, for a little while. Kylian Mbappe just sprinting at me. Danilo defending well. Danilo defending very well. He's definitely going to be a usable player, isn't he? Could be Tomiyasu-like from the Arsenal save, where overall rating-wise doesn't look that good to begin with, and certainly doesn't stand out as a go-to player, but actually very usable and very effective. Unfortunately, Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe were very effective in that game, and despite it being a very even fixture on paper, statistically, we lose by 4-2, and Antwerp doubled their lead against Benfica. So Benfica, bottom of the group, alongside ourselves. Antwerp, currently, look like they might well be going through, although there are still 5 games left in the group stage, thankfully. For some reason, it didn't show me the pre-match graphics. I was waiting to show you in the Serie A style. So, Emi Martinez in goal for Napoli, new signing. Giovanni Di Lorenzo, Otamendi, Kim Min-jae and Mario Rui as the back four. Zambo Anguissa, Stanislav Lobotka and Piotr Zielinski in the midfield, with Politano on the right. Obviously, Kvaratskhelia on the left, who's been a revelation for Napoli so far this season, certainly in Europe. And then Giovanni Simeone up top through the middle. Really exciting youngster, Kvaratskhelia, and certainly a player we might look to use at some point in this save, perhaps a little bit later down the line when he's grown a little bit more. We are at full strength other than McKennie for Pogba and Danilo for Bremer. Let's go and get a victory, shall we please? We could get ourselves up 3 places in the league if we win this by 2 goals. Currently 8th heading into this game, but 2 sides above us have played a game more. Napoli sit above us also, and if we win this, then we should go above them as well. Lobotka looking over the top, finding Matteo Politano. Spinazzola just quickly outmuscle him. He's done very well. In there to Filip Kostic. Vlahovic, look at the run from Rabiot. Adrien Rabiot's been a great source of goals for us so far in Serie A. But Emi Martinez denies us another one, at least for the time being. Brilliant goalkeeper, as we well know, from the Nottingham Forest save. And from just playing in general in the Premier League. Emi Martinez is always a difficult goalkeeper to get the ball past. Hopefully, though, we will get it past him multiple times today. Lobotka into Simeone. Zielinski. He's a really good player, Piotr Zielinski. And hits the post and couldn't have come much closer to giving Napoli a 1-0 lead. Wow. Zielinski's a player I might actually like to use at some point. Oh, that was supposed to be a first-time pass. It's just a very, very heavy touch from Vlahovic. Napoli causing me problems here, but we're trying to do the same for them. Zielinski in behind. Support is arriving slowly. Lovely little back heel to Kvaratskhelia. Szczesny just bundles that around the corner. It wasn't the most convincing of saves, but a save nonetheless. Kostic having his shirt tugged, but gets away. McKennie finds Rabiot. He's getting away nicely here. And can't find Vlahovic. Missing that final pass at the minute. In the final third, myself. Napoli coming close with chances. That's a lovely ball forward. Trying to get there with a defender. Didn't do too well in doing so. Cuadrado chasing shadows at the minute. Here's Kvaratskhelia in the box. Mario Rui, the left back. Lobotka, Simeone. Kvaratskhelia again trying to just outmuscle him without fouling him. And that's going to be a penalty. The ball was there to be won, but Danilo went for the man, not the ball itself. And it's going to be a penalty to Napoli after 35 minutes. That was absolutely a winnable challenge. They stepped in for the ball. Just couldn't get there. Balls. It's going to be Simeone from the spot. Saved by the legs of the goalkeeper. Wojciech Szczesny comes up trumps. Brilliant stop from the penalty. I don't think I've even seen that save animation before. Absolutely wonderful stop with his feet. Make the run, please, Chiesa, because I want to play you in. Actually, we'll play in Filip Kostic. Oh, it's going to bobble free. Emi Martinez quickly out to smother it this game. Could go any which way at the moment, couldn't it? Flying from end to end here. Very entertaining fixtures so far. 5 minutes to go till half-time. It's still somehow 0-0. Arriving down the left. Spinazzola. And the ball in. Dangerous. Not very well dealt with. It is by Zielinski, though. No mistake from him. Danilo. Locatelli. Goes short first. Chiesa actually cut back this way. Another chance to use Chiesa's excellent dribbling so far. Is that a foul? No. Just rolled over the challenge there, Vlahovic. And the referee says play on. Now in behind here is Simeone. Cuadrado trying to get back to him. Gets an interception on it, but it falls free for Mario Rui. And Zielinski winds up. We'll just have to get this away as quickly as possible. McKennie out wide here to Kostic. This has been a really, really entertaining game so far. And Spinazzola is in behind here. And he just needs to find the right pass. And Vlahovic. And Rabiot. Oh, it's a brilliant save. Chiesa's got to bury that. We had the man free. And Emi Martinez is proving to be the most frustrating goalkeeper to play against so far this season. Albeit Donnarumma was very good in the last game. Emi Martinez perhaps even better in this one. That's a terrible pass. An hour played now. Still 0-0. Politano with the ball through. And Simeone. Zambo Anguissa out wide. Danilo going to come and close down Di Lorenzo. This is dangerous. Kvaratskhelia, the main man for Napoli again. The header at the back post. And the away side lead by a goal to nil. They would be, well, to be fair, either side would be good value for the win or the point. It's been that kind of game where you could kind of justify either side winning it and also either side earning something from it. As it stands, though, we won't be getting anything from it. That header there puts us 1-0 down here. Now we have our work cut out in the final 15 minutes. Filip Kostic trying to hold on to it. Spinazzola to Weston McKennie. Through that gap to Locatelli. Vlahovic. Rabiot. Oh, trying to find Chiesa but can't. I need a goal. I really desperately need a goal. Kostic. McKennie. Vlahovic. Look at the run. It's Spinazzola who's absolutely knackered. Come on then. Oh, it's a lovely ball. Dušan's in. And there's the equaliser. 92nd minute. We take a point against Napoli. And it is no less than we deserve today. Even Ted's come down to celebrate the last minute goal. Drama in Italy. Mamma mia. Can you believe it? Lovely through ball. And Vlahovic on his left foot doesn't regularly let me down. Tucking it home. Proving to be worth his weight in gold at the minute, Dušan. Certainly with that one. That's a very important goal. Leaves us level with the last kick of the game. Absolutely spectacular. I think that's Claudio Marchisio there in the Tifo, isn't it? Oh, wow, what a game. And we've got AC Milan next. Bloody hell. Doesn't get any easier, does it? AC Milan with a 4-3-3. Mike Maignan in goal. Dest, Tomori, Kier and Florenzi. Of course, no Teo Hernandez. They sold him. Tonali, Benassa and Brahim Diaz with Leao, Rebic and Iago Aspas. Their front three. Milan are below us in the table. So, not having a great start. The Italian champions. Not the best of defences of their title thus far. We've not been incredible. We've played well, but I'm really frustrated that we got the draw against Lecce and the defeat against Sassuolo, to be honest. I certainly feel like the team is better than that. And hopefully throughout the course of the rest of the season, we will be. But we'll allow ourselves the occasional dodgy result at this early stage of our career here, whilst we get to grips with Serie A and this team. Oh, Rebic has done me there with a really good turn. He's just outmuscled the defender as well. A little ball roll too. But we've dealt with it, thankfully. Oh, Benassa, did that hit an arm? It didn't. Play continues. And Ante Rebic is in again. And Bremer deals with it again. Although it will be a corner to our hosts here at San Siro. Leao is on it, which is a strange decision. Would have expected him to be in the box, given his height. Florenzi to Leao. Back to Benassa. And Tonali. Fikayo Tomori. He's not going to be banging them in from there, is he? And he did it once for Chelsea against Wolves, albeit it was a phenomenal finish when it did fly in. I don't know how many goals Tomori has scored in Serie A since moving to Italy, but I believe he's highly regarded by AC Milan fans and by everybody in the league, really, as one of the standout talents defensively. Chiesa's just going to have to wait for support here. Paredes gets to start for the first time for me. Pogba, I was looking to lift that for Kostic, and I just couldn't quite do it. Again, really entertaining start here, end-to-end stuff, similarly to the game against Napoli. And I'd probably take a point from this one, but given that they've had a slow start to the season, AC Milan, you'd like to try and take advantage of that and get a win if we can, albeit away from home. Locatelli absolutely sends Rafael Leao. Chiesa. Oh, Vlahovic. Filip Kostic. That's a goal! Forza Juve! 1-0. We lead by a goal to nil. Good move, that. And there's a bit of space here for Chiesa. And he'll look for Cuadrado. And he might be playing at right back for me, Cuadrado. But he's definitely an attacking threat too. Here's Federico Chiesa. Back to Filip Kostic from the edge of the box. Draws a good save out of Mike Maignan. It's a corner for us to maybe extend the lead. We'll try. Kostic will deliver. A lofted pass. Bremer's up. It's away from him. Chiesa can't win that header. It'll fall for Paredes. Locatelli under control. The volley! Very well saved again by the goalkeeper. We'll chase Florenzi, try and force a defensive mistake, but Milan are not likely to make one at the moment. Nice solid tackle by Alexandro. Ante Rebic tried to retaliate there with a slide tackle that was really, really poorly done. And Kostic just needs to find Vlahovic, and it is the dream start to the second half. We extend our advantage over AC Milan here. I needed this after getting hammered by PSG. Scraping the draw against Napoli, albeit we did deserve the result, to get a strong performance here against AC Milan is very impressive and a relief, really. We saw that they were only on 6 points so far this season and haven't had the best of starts from their 4 games. 2 wins, 2 defeats or 1 win and 3 draws and remain unbeaten. But they, hopefully, now they're 2-0 down here, won't remain unbeaten if they are any longer than the next few minutes. Because we're going to get a dub here. Strong tackle by Quadrado. Did get the ball, I thought, but perhaps doing so in an illegal manner. And a free kick for the home team. Iago Aspas will deliver. Alessandro Florenzi off for Charles de Ketelara. And MESSI is on for them as well. So certainly a change in formation, you would think. With Florenzi coming off for a striker. Certainly a forward player. Charles de Ketelara can play out wide as well as through the middle. Tonali de Ketelara into Ante Rebic. Back there to Ketelara again. That's around the corner nicely. Aspas has so many options here. And Messias misses the target. Swept past the post. Olivier Giroud is on now for AC Milan. And yeah, they certainly have changed formation. It's now a 3-4-3 or a 3-4-1 or 3-1-3-3 even. An awkward formation that perhaps might leave them open at the back to a counter-attack. So they've gone risky to try and get back in it. I'm not sure whether that's going to work for them. Certainly not if Moise Kean can get in behind here, which he has done. And I've got the option square, and I'm sorry, AC Milan. That formation is not going to work for you. 3-0. Filip Kostic buries it, and we will certainly get the win now. Locatelli looking for Chiesa. Can we end on a high with Federico? Maybe an assist. Locatelli on his left. It's wide of the target, but it doesn't matter. Milan 0, Juve... I don't know what 3 is in Italian. I'm sorry, my Italian is not as good as my German or Spanish. It's a victory for us, though. AC Milan fall foul to another defeat this season. And that should hopefully fire us up the table a little bit. And you can tell from the stats, 9 shots to their 2. It's definitely a game we deserve to win. Napoli lose at home to Roma. They were very strong against us. Roma weren't. But evidently, it's the sort of season here in Italy where a lot of teams can beat a lot of teams. There aren't really runaway winners anymore. Juventus had a few seasons where they just won it every year, similar to Bayern and PSG elsewhere in Europe, but that is not the way of things in Serie A anymore. It's a very competitive division. We find ourselves, I thought I was going to say in 3rd, but actually that's the Champions League with the game that comes next. We're actually in 4th, so still not bad. Inter Milan currently lead the way with 5 wins from their opening 6 games, and you'll see Milan down in 13th. 1 win, 3 draws, and now 2 defeats from their opening 6 games. That is not the sort of form you would expect from reigning Italian champions. Roma down in 10th as well. Jose Mourinho might be finding himself in danger of losing his job if they keep that up for too much longer. We've got Benfica coming up next. The Belgian international manager's job. Now then, we are, of course, looking for a Euro win and a World Cup win. I honestly haven't looked to see if the World Cup is in this year, and it is not. The World Cup not happening in Qatar in-game. So, is it now the right time to take an international manager's job, or do I wait? I think Belgium is a very good job offer, though. I'm going to wait, I think. I'm going to wait. Because we're obviously not going to get any international football between now and the Euros in 2024. So I'm just going to hold fire, I think. We'll skip the press conference and we'll go straight to this game against Benfica, where we should come away with a win. Gonçalo Ramos makes it 2-1 to Benfica, and so far, these simmed games are not going our way. A draw against Lecce, a defeat to Sassuolo, and now a defeat at home against Benfica. Lecce should have been a win. Sassuolo shouldn't have been a defeat, nor should the game against Benfica. That's frustrating. Coming up in the next one tomorrow, Lazio, Fiorentina, Antwerp, which I'm going to have to play at this stage to try and get a result in the Champions League. And then, I don't actually know whose badge that is. I don't recognise it. Whose badge is that? Oh, it's Cremonese. I definitely didn't recognise it. I recognised the name of the team, but I absolutely didn't recognise the name or recognise the badge. Then it's Hellas Verona and Monza. And then moving forward, Inter and PSG in the same month in November. Busy month of October. Lazio, Fiorentina and Antwerp probably be the 3 games that we play and then see in the next 3. Or we might play 3 and then play 3 again in the next episode. Because we've got a 15-year career here, do probably expect me to sim more than I play. I.e., if it were a different save, I might have played 3 and played 3. Whereas with the nature of this save, I might play 3, sim 3 in the month of October. But I will take your feedback on that. And if you would like me to play more games, then do let me know. And I will look to take that feedback on board and do so moving forward. But for now, that's all for this episode. Thank you for your support. Let's try and hit over 1,000 likes again if we can, please. I'd very much appreciate it. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And turn your notifications on and you won't miss a video. Come and join me on Twitch to watch it live as well. And I'll see you next time.